We're going to have a really important conversation right now. We're talking about the importance of teaching our kids about inclusivity with families. And we're joined now by Kathleen Goodman. She is a counselor and the author of a new children's book. It's called All Families Invited. And this is a great topic for, what so many of us are faced with on the day-to-day these days. Good morning to you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on the book. Tell us a little bit about the book. This is your first one.
It is my first one. So it's about 8-year-old Annabelle, and she wants to change the name of her school's father-daughter dance to be more inclusive of all family types.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, that's a great idea. So what inspired you to write it?
Right, so I worked as a school counselor for 10 years, and I really saw the changing demographics of families. So often when I would ask kids, tell me who lives at home with you, it wasn't always necessarily mom and dad. It might be, oh, I have 2 dads, or I live with my mom and grandmother. And so I wanted to write a book that really inspired more inclusive language in school communication and events.
So why is it important to recognize and celebrate that each family is unique?
Right. So, if you have a name like father-daughter, someone who maybe doesn't necessarily fit that family type might feel like, oh, well, I'm not really included or accepted. And so when we're able to broaden our definition of family and use less limiting language, we're able to help kids feel included and accepted, and that's such an important thing.
So how can schools really embrace inclusivity?
Mm-hmm. Right, so just being mindful of how you're addressing events to families. So maybe being more creative. Instead of a father-daughter dance, you could change the name of it. So in my book, it's called Family Fall Fest. I know of one school who has a dance that's called the Small Tall Ball. Just being aware of and celebrating the bonds that kids have, and it may be with mom or dad, or it might be with grandpa or an aunt or uncle.
There you go. So you talked a little bit about the changing demographics that you saw in your decade inside schools. What sorts of changes did you see, and how has that affected the school population as a whole?
Yeah, just more different types of families raising kids. There was a survey done in 2016 that looked at high school seniors that said only about 50% of high school seniors were living at home with married birth parents. And the other 50% were being raised by a variety of different family types. And so I just think it's important to be aware of that, and also to realize that if someone has more of what society thinks of a traditional mom-dad relationship at age 8, that may not be what happens by the time they're 18 for a variety of reasons.
So empathy and acceptance, you say those are the most important things that you wanted people to get from the book, right?
Right, empathy and acceptance, and I think that schools are trying to really encourage social emotional learning in their curriculums with school counselors to be able to talk about empathy and really taking a different perspective.
Kathleen Goodman, a pleasure to have you here this morning.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on the book. All Families Invited is the name of the book.